Bitcoin just closed above the 50 weekly moving average, and that's exactly what we are going to discuss in today's video, because I think this is going to be the last push of the bull run before the start of the bear market in 2026. Not only that, but also a lot more, like all the most important crypto charts and price data. We will also dive deep into the latest news from the market. So make sure to subscribe to the channel and check my latest videos, and we can dive into the most important content. So after Bitcoin has closed above the 50 weekly moving average, we have now a strong bullish confirmation. So I believe that after this closure, we are going to have the last strong push to the upside before the end of the year. And I'll tell you exactly why. So the first piece of data that I want to talk about is the fact that we have a huge liquidation accumulated on the upside. So since the October 10th disaster, we have been having a huge liquidity being accumulated to the upside as much as the 126,000 level, and pretty much not much liquidity from here on the downside, which makes me think that the price will start to reverse and reach for more liquidity right here for higher prices. And as you know, the M2 global liquidity is still struggling to reach new all-time high and bring more liquidity into the market. But most importantly, I believe that the M2 growth and borrowing rate must stay flat until the end of the year. Who knows, until the beginning of December, when we are going to start to see it rise again and more liquidity will be injected back into the market. Now, the most important piece of data that I believe is going to make this bullish scenario happen is exactly the fact that we already have the confirmation of the both daily cycle low and the weekly cycle low. And that's exactly what made the price go as further as the 99,000 level. And this is exactly what happens when we have a weekly cycle low. On a bullish trend, we are going to notice that on a weekly cycle low, the RSI is going to reach as further as the 30 level. And that's exactly what happened last week. We got the RSI as further as 30. And another characteristic of a weekly cycle low is the fact that it touched the 50 weekly moving average on Bitcoin. And that's exactly what happened again. And the third confirmation is also the market sentiment. The crypto fear and greed index reached as further as the extreme fear back on April. If you see right here back on the chart, where is it? Right here. If you see right here back on the chart, when we got this level right here, we actually reached the extreme fear and the fear level. And that's exactly what happened again. We got pretty close to the extreme fear. I believe that we actually touched it and then we started to reverse. However, you might be wondering, what are the chances that we are going to get a similar behavior like in April, in which we are going to get a short pump, but we're gonna have another dump before we continue to go higher. In the markets, we're never gonna say never, but I believe that it is extremely unlikely, and here's why. Because we had both a daily and a cycle confirmation. And if we take right here, based on the cycle theory, we are going to get a left translated behavior, which is gonna make the price reach higher before the next daily cycle window. Plus, the DSS is about to make a reversal and the RSI is starting to walk towards the upside. So we can see we have a lot of data that's pointing out to a bullish scenario for Bitcoin. Not only that, I believe that gold has reached its peak right here back at the end of October. Right now, the price is reaching again to the upside, but I believe it is going to face some resistance at this level before continue to go to the downtrend. And whenever gold starts to go to the downtrend after such a pump, I believe that's going to be the turn of risky assets such as Bitcoin to start and go to the new all-time high. The other confluence is the US dollar index. We just reached a weekly cycle low back on September. And again, if you take the theory behind the weekly cycle window, we are going to get a left translated cycle to the downtrend, which is going to make the Dixie go down until the end of the year, maybe beginning of 2026. And this downtrend of the US dollar index is also going to make risky assets to go bullish. And by the way, just a short correction right here on the Bitcoin price daily cycle theory. Since we are on an uptrend, it is actually going to be right translated. So the price has to reach this uptrend before another pullback until the beginning of 2026. And something else that I believe is going to make the dollar go down is the fact that we are starting to get some bullish bullish narratives, such as the US shutdown, it is going to stop. This is going to bring more clarity into the market. And also we have by this week, but I'm not very sure if they're going to release this week already, some CPN jobs data. This is going to be the first release after the longest US shutdown in history. So you can expect quite a lot of volatility. Another bullish scenario that I'm expecting is the fact that we are going to start to see more ETF inflow. And this is going to be bullish, driving the price back up. Now let's talk about some entries here. On Bitcoin, we already had the daily cycle low and the weekly cycle low confirmed. And right now we expect the price to remain bullish. As we can see right here, we got the 104 swing high that just got broken. And the order block responsible for such a break of structure was right here at the 103-101 level. On the shorter time frame right here on the liquidation, we can see that we have some liquidity right here at this level. But I believe that, and as you can see right here on the upside at around the 107, there is still a huge amount of liquidity. So I expect some aggressive liquidity sweep right here to the downside before we continue our way up. And now we're going to trade after above the 106-108 support level. Ethereum also got this weekly cycle low confirmed right here at this region, also trading above the 50 weekly moving average, and also had the break of structure right here that at the 3,500 level, making this order block at the 3,400, 3,300 a really nice point of interest. So just like in Bitcoin, I believe that the price will get back down here, maybe some liquidity sweep to this downside, and then continue its way up, claiming back the support level at the 3,700. Until last week, XRP was not looking very good, but right now it also broke the swing high at the 2.4 level, forming a imbalance right here at this level, and then that's why I believe this is going to be the next order block for the price to get back down here. It is going to face some resistance of the 50 weekly moving average, but the 10 daily moving average is going to act as a support for the price to come and back up. And like I mentioned on my previous videos, Zcash is starting its downtrend. I believe that the run for Zcash already finished, and now I'm going to start to short Zcash until the bottom. Solana still needs to show some more strength. Although it had a break of structure at this level at 106.5, I do not see a strong breakout. So for Solana, I'm personally not that bullish. Maybe it is still going to downtrend a little bit, maybe ranging until we see some more setups for bullish. But something that I want to hear you guys from the comments is, what do you think? Are we going to get something similar from what we get on April? Maybe a pump and another dump before we continue to go higher? Or do you think that we are going to go higher from here? Thanks for watching.